All right. So, yeah, my boy here, this is going to be part of the video, providing that we do use this content here. So, my friend here is observing Ramadan, and I kind of decided to ask him if he was willing to do it. I'm not going to get too in depth with everything because it's spiritual and there are some still, well, not some great amount of respect for what he's doing, but the point of me doing this is just to show people that are Muslim or would like to observe it, but they're scared to do it in certain ways. And this is fifth time, right?
Yeah, this is gonna be my fifth year in Ramadan.
His fifth year in Ramadan. Seriously, observing it, breaking his fast on time, eating smart, and so we're gonna get in it from like a diet perspective because he is a fitness enthusiast. He does work out, he does lift weights, and he also does functional training. So not like more of a bodybuilding or a competitive perspective or view of it, all right, just like a fitness point of view. And he's been able to cope with that. He had actually started his weight loss journey, not completely weight loss, but just not to sacrifice his hard work and his muscles. So I've been guiding him, and he's been able to figure out a lot what he can do on his own. I tried to do a video on it, but to be honest, it didn't really. He was a little bit reluctant to doing his videos and stuff for me to document it. But he was studying, and he was able to pull that off, go to work, and diet and see results. All right, so I'm gonna try to get the pictures and do some comparisons of when he started. But I dare him, I think it was about 2 weeks ago, I dare him and about Ramadan, and he said yes, he's gonna follow through, and maybe he can even lose some weight or some fat in the process. Raul just said something to me. Ramadan is coming up, and Raul observes Ramadan. So I'm putting him on the spot. He said he's going to be lean by the end of Ramadan, leaner than he is. So he's not going to be working out intense. His calories is really going to be low. And for the first time, I think he's going to do a cleaner Ramadan. Instead of like normally like beef and curry and rice, it's going to be a little bit more health conscious. So he plans on getting shredded, and I'm holding him to it because he has been on a weight loss journey and he's lost some pounds while he was studying and so on, and he has not do enough videoing and edit. Well, basically, he has not do a lot of documentation to that journey. So I'm holding him out. I'm holding him out for Ramadan. All right, and afterwards, he still is going to get his progress that he made when he started. So I'm holding him out for the 30 days of Ramadan. He's going to at least start to show how lean he's going to get. So that's what he told me, and he know he's telling the right and the wrong person because I'm going to hold him to it. But hopefully he gets it done, and let's see what happens. But not forgetting his main purpose of Ramadan. It's not to diet or to show off or anything. I asked him to do this. I came up with the idea. He just said, okay, all right, he's going to see what information he can give me without sacrificing, jeopardizing anything with his own spiritual journey on Ramadan. So, things I really want to ask him or get into is how does it feel going into Ramadan as to having to make changes of he's not going to gym. So how does it feel to transition and let the weights go, give that a break, getting up early in the morning and so on? Like,
All right. So for me, right, I started fasting, I should say, since 2017. I've been observing Ramadan since every year since 2017. I wasn't in the best of shape in 2017, 2018, 2019. I kind of started really taking a much more staunch approach to how I think about my body and my overall health last year because of the pandemic. For very obvious reasons, I felt that at one point in time last year, just before Ramadan and even into Ramadan, I felt like I I had like almost all the symptoms of coronavirus. I wasn't able to get tested because testing was very scarce in the country at the time. Nonetheless, I was able to pull through it just fine, and I'm still here today. But the point is, it really kind of kickstarted my desire to lose weight, to be as fit as possible, because I don't want to be in a position where my health is going to be compromised because of a virus out there. And I wanted to give my body the best fighting chance.
So
Skipping rope, what I started doing, I started skipping. I bought last year, August, and it mushroomed basically from there to start it. Doing kettlebell swings. I bought a kettlebell, started doing kettlebell swings, incorporated into freeletics stuff like pull-up, push-ups, and abdominal exercises, so forth. And then I eventually graduated, and then I started going to the gym. I started lifting weights, doing deadlifts, doing squats, doing chest, bench pressing, all the relevant gym type of exercises. I know I've known Julian for many years, and he's been doing bodybuilding and has been a fitness enthusiast from since then. So that's basically the backstory for me. And I even have Olympic rings I started using recently. I love those things. Olympic rings. I'm fascinated by gymnasts, and I think Olympic rings just demonstrate how physically strong and athletic a person could become, and I admire that. So that's one of the reasons why I bought it, and I've been doing a couple of things with it recently. I love it. Getting back to Julian's question concerning Ramadan. So Ramadan is a spiritual journey you take for 1 month in observance of the Quran and developing a closeness with God. One of the prerequisites or one of the requirements during the month of Ramadan is that you fast from sunrise to sunset. Here in Guyana, that has been basically tabled out for maybe about 4:30 in the morning. You have to stop eating, drinking any water, and then you break your fast in the afternoon around 6 o'clock. So you're just under shy out of 14 hours of basically no food, drink, right? And for me, sleep is important, hydration is important, and eating. I eat like 3 to 4 times a day. So the transition from being a fitness enthusiast to someone who's going to be some level of piety during this month. It was a challenge for maybe about the first 2 days, because like my mind was telling on me to just. It was a challenge for the first 2 days. My mind was telling me, man, oh, you got to think about your muscle loss. You're gonna think about your getting tiny. You're gonna lose your strength. And for me, losing strength is like a big deal, because in my book, the only way you're gonna grow, the only way you're gonna get big, you're gonna see results, is if you build that strength. Now, obviously, if you're not eating, you're gonna lose some. You're gonna lose some performance there because you don't have fuel. A lot of people say it's how a lot of recommendations came to me that, oh, you can basically stay up all night. You can eat all your calories in the evening and sleep during the day. But practically, that's impossible for me, because I actually have an 8 to 4:30 job. So I still got to go to work. I still got to go and deliver results for my company, and I still got to manage people. I still got to drive, right? So those are all things that I need to do on a daily basis. So I need rest. So balancing worship, balancing rest, balancing the actual fast, and also thinking about your caloric intake and your macros. It's very taxing, but it's not impossible. You do it. The simplest thing for me that I found was that you need to plan yourself. You need to plan your days. You need to plan how you're going to do things. Plan your meals. Even outside of Ramadan, I mean, as anyone who's trying to achieve some sort of fitness goal, they need to plan. That is just the cold hard truth. And if you're unwilling to do that, you're not going to see results. So the transition has been, for me, this year, it's been a little bit more. It's basically giving me a little bit more friction, but I'm I've pretty much adapted to it, and now it's actually day
When
11.
you say friction, do you mean like challenging?
Challenging, yes,
Yeah.
friction.
Or a bit hectic or
It's not really hectic, but more challenging. It's in the sense that I
There you
have
go.
my mind plays tricks on me about if am I eating the right amount of macros, am I getting enough water,
protein and
yeah,
so on. Because
protein, carbs. And
basically, you don't want to lose.
I don't want to lose my strength.
Yeah,
That's ultimately
I
it.
can put myself there because I'm on a break from the gym myself, or probably I do not know when I'm going back exactly. I'm actually thinking a lot, and isn't that sometimes I was thinking like when I usually take breaks, like if I'm eating enough protein or muscle acid, there are things that messes with you and stuff like that. So I can relate and understand that. So do you expect to uh do you think you can be able to lose weight and like fat and get a bit leaner on this journey?
That's a good question. So like I said, I started since 2017 observing Ramadan. To be honest, within those couple of years, I saw very little results in terms of fat loss because what happens was that before gaining sort of nutritional knowledge, you used to just end up at iftar, which is when you break fast. You used to just pig out, which is not really something you should do, but you ended up eating the wrong type of calories. You ended up eating too much fats, refined sugars, too much carbs, not enough protein. So basically, what happened was that you you kind of on a nutritional level, you kind of just didn't get the benefit. You have to also mix within the days. You do have to also mix some sort of uh, not necessarily strength training, but some sort of functional training to either maybe do some abdominal stuff, maybe do some stretching, some yoga, some Pilates, something to get the body moving.
So you're basically still doing a little bit of home workout just to upkeep your a little bit of stamina and so on, really. So the purpose, what's the purpose of the workout? How exactly do you think it would benefit you?
During this month, okay. So I'm working out mostly just to maintain my current strength levels, all right, and my muscle mass. So aside from eating the right amount of macros, this month is not about building muscle. It's not about going to extreme hypertrophy or you're trying to just you're going to do any strength records. It's not going to be a good month to do that because of the fact that you can't hydrate, you can't lubricate your joints, and if you do something heavy, your risk of injury it goes up extremely high.
And basically, you don't want to compromise
No, we
your
can't.
reason for Ramadan.
No, I
In
know,
any
of
way.
course not, of course not. And if you're injured and you can't actually physically perform the functions of Ramadan, the fast, that's even worse because that I would say that's complete negligence because you could have prevented it. So I take as much precaution as possible. I've had recommendations for people to tell me to train in the morning when you just ate, maybe about 2 or 3 hours. But again, I need to get up to with that job. Some people say train in the evenings.
But you did try it, or
Getting up has been a challenge for the time, but what I was told as well is that I can train in the evening. Now, training in the evening is not a bad idea. However, you still need to get your rest, and the gyms are not open at that time because you're going to probably be available to train maybe after 8 o'clock, maybe sometimes in some cases after 9. There's no training facility that's available unless you have your personal gym for yourself. So that's a challenge. That's why for me, I have my kettlebell, I have skipping ropes, I have my Olympic rings, and I just use those to do whatever I want. in
so you're how much days into Ramadan?
It's been 11 days, right
Days.
now. 11 days, 12 nights.
How much? It's a 30 day.
So the journey, yes,
30.
it takes a lunar cycle. I hope I'm not butchering that. So it takes it's a 30-day journey. So when the moon, it's something to do with the moon. I already can't recall. Anyways, so it coincides with the new moon. When there's a new moon change, apparently that happens every 30 days. So 30 to 29 days. So it's about 30 days. 30.
Seen any weight loss so far?
Oh, I've seen a lot of
Changes? Any less body fat, leanness? Looking at yourself, any weight loss on the scale?
okay, so I haven't seen much in terms of physical change, that much physical change. I've seen the only thing I probably noticed, I'm a little bit more vascular. And I'm not even working out. I mean, vascularity comes from just having that consistent pump in your body.
Blood
So,
flow.
but I'm not even working out that much, right? I'm working out maybe 20 minutes to half an hour in the evenings every other night. So before I used to work out 3 to 4 times a week for about close to 2 hours, hour and a half to 2 hours. I'm just doing about 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes every other night. So basically that's what I'm doing.
So you're basically not letting go completely of working out. You still
No.
want to
No,
keep
of course not.
his joints and whatever a bit familiar with certain things, because like I said, I can relate to that. You don't want your strength to go off too far off. You want it, even if it goes off, you want to be able to catch up, play catch up really quick, a quick catch up game after Ramadan. But basically, this is just us sharing, well, him basically what he done, how he has approached it, how he feels, and his job. All right, his job. Now let's get into that.
Okay.
All right, what do you do for your job exactly, and just give like a little brief thing of your activity level, and how often would you get thirsty, and what are your challenges at work?
Okay, so my job is basically a desk job with not that much physical
It's
activity.
not physically demanding, basically.
No, it's not physically demanding. I run an IT department, so basically I'm in a very cold room, and obviously that's going to drain you of
It's
fluids.
supposed to get you dehydrated, right?
Yeah, it's going to get you dehydrated because your body is burning calories to maintain a certain body temperature. And you're in a very cold room, so you're going to feel more dehydrated. You're going to feel a little bit more lethargic. But it's not something that I'm unaccustomed to. I've been very accustomed to it. That's for many years already. Activity level, I don't really need to do any sort of heavy lifting. I don't need to do any sort of a lot of mobility things. A lot of it is desk restricted. So that's what basically.
So far, you're able to cope with eating and waking up. When I say eating, I mean not overeating, eating a certain amount of food, clean food. So, what do you really eat? You do not have to give the amount, obviously, because that is a different person would require different. Just give a little sketch of what you really eat and what you drink when you fast versus what you did different in the year before or previous years before you were more educated.
Okay. So what I normally do, right? I eat. I'm about close to 200 pounds. As of since Ramadan started close to 2 weeks ago, I basically shed about 6. Ideally, I think I'm close to my ideal body weight. So my body is kind of rejecting me trying to lose more weight. I think so. That's what happened. For my frame and structure, I'm about 6'4", and and before Ramadan I started, I'd weighed about 200 pounds. So for my frame, I think my body was accustomed to that and it liked that and it was wanting to stay there. However, because Ramadan came and we're doing a fast, I probably lost about close to 6 pounds. Maybe I'd say give it about 5 for sure. So what I normally do, before what I used to do,
Is that like fat, or would you include that as like?
I think it's fat
mass.
and water weight, and maybe a little bit of muscle too.
Yeah.
So what I used to do, I used to use a lot of curries with rice and beef.
Beef curry and rice.
Yeah, beef curry and rice. Yes.
Or chicken.
or chicken,
Or chicken.
or fried rice. A lot of fried rice.
It's getting me very hungry right now. I do not know how he feels, but
chow
I'm kind of
mein.
mouth watering just thinking
Yeah,
about curry right now.
it's actually really tasty because it's high in fat. And fat is super freaking tasty. Everybody knows that. Um, for me, what I've done right now, I've actually for the last couple of months, and I basically brought that same training into Ramadan. Is I morning mixed blended with some flaxseed and some almond milk, and I throw a scoop of whey in that. So I think that's a high. It's a very dense meal for a very low caloric intake. So I use that in the morning with 3 whole eggs, fried without any with just a little bit of olive oil. I was doing that for, let's say, the first 5 or 6 days. Then I switched it up, and then I started using a lot of wraps. I use a whole wheat wrap that is high in fiber, low in calories, and I just scramble some eggs. I put some turkey sausage with that, and basically wrap that up, and I have that. And what I normally do, I drink about 16 to 24 ounces of water every morning. And that's
How
about it.
long does it take you to drink the water? Do you do it in one?
So as soon as I get up, I start my day around 3:30 or maybe 20 minutes to 4. So I start drinking water from 3. As soon as I get up at 3:30, 3:40, start drinking water then all the way up to about 4:20. 4:20, I'm supposed to kind of stop with everything. Right? So by 4:20, I'm done eating, I'm done drinking all my water. It's kind of tough drinking that amount of water. I mean, it seems like a lot.
I could only imagine.
It's yeah, because you're gonna fill your stomach up with all of that water, and then you're gonna not have that much space for actual physical food. So you force yourself to kind of do it. So but that's fine. It's part of the process, and it's something that I've learned, and my body's adjusted to it already, so I don't need to worry about that.
All right, so I do not know if I'm gonna put this out as a separate video, or I'm gonna just put it together because someone will be pictures, and it might probably change. So I do not know. I might post this as a video now, and then see what happens after Ramadan, or I might paste it all together depending on how long it is, because people do not want to sit down and look at no long video. They want to prefer to do it in short. So I might just do this separate, and I'm going to edit this, or I might just put it together. And that's about it. Like I said, this is just for people from a non-professional perspective. People giving advice that do not keep Ramadan, that never fasted, and are telling you how they think you should eat and how they think you should do. I do not think that. So this here is just like another point of view or something else. This is not exactly might work for everybody, but this is sharing information and sharing knowledge and showing you the possibilities, and maybe you can apply this into your regimen and see how it works for you. All right, so that's it, guys. I'm gonna wrap this portion of the video up, and thanks for your time, Subaschand. Thanks for your time.
No
He
problem.
took longer than he said. He was just going to do it for a few minutes because he's dieting. He do not want to exhaust himself. He cannot go and drink a bunch of water like I'm gonna go and do right now because my mouth is dry just from sitting down here this amount of time. So I need to go get in some water. Please give the video a thumbs up, and yeah, stay safe, and thanks for watching.
All right, take care, guys.